In this 5th grade class, we see visual aids being used in connection with the study of geography. Many people have an erroneous opinion that the use of films is like going to a movie. However, as you will note in this class situation, it provides an effective means of teaching. First, there is the general discussion of the topic. Secondly, the presentation of the film. And finally, a follow-up period of questions and answers. Learning by doing is a most effective way of teaching. Through pupil participation in demonstrations such as these, some of the simple scientific principles take on new meaning for the student. The saying, "One picture is worth 1,000 words," is a concept often found in modern education. This 6th grade is working in groups for their bulletin board project on Central America. Each group has been assigned a section on the bulletin board where it cooperatively displays materials they have prepared on the state they represent. Closely connected with the study of Central America is that of Mexico. Here we see the members of a 6th grade class participating in an original assembly, an outgrowth of their study of our southern neighbor. Real learning takes place when the pupils, after research and planning, present a program of their own making, learning which cannot be replaced by commercial program material. Turning now to our northern neighbor, Canada, we observe the results of another unit activity in the middle grades. Through joint efforts, all have participated in making a contribution to the group. Each morning, opening exercises are held in all rooms, varying some according to the grade level. This 7th grade group has worked out a student-directed program which includes the flag salute, reading of Bible selections, and the Lord's Prayer. In earlier scenes, you saw 2nd graders studying elementary concepts of measurement and time. Here in the 8th grade, the more advanced concept of volume is being learned. Near the end of the year, those who are ready are introduced to the study of algebra, which they will be taking in high school. Just a brief pause, recess. Though the day be dampened with rain, a trip to the airport is another educational experience that makes learning fun. After considerable preparation for the trip, the school bus is used to take the students to this valuable community resource, where they may not only see the things they have been talking about, but are able to talk with the personnel at the airport and ask questions which they would like answered. You would be pleased and proud to hear how some of these well thought out questions have been prepared by these young people. Following the airport trip, there is a continued realistic understanding of previous learning. Activities are taken up with renewed vigor, and all are working to complete projects which they have started with work on this unit. Here we see some of the work on these projects as they are nearing completion. This student is presenting an illustrated report on vacuum tubes, a report which requires understanding and a background of information. Letter writing is one of the contacts with those away from us. Through this medium, we keep in contact with old friends and meet new ones. Sometimes our first impression is made on a prospective employer through our letters of applications to him. Here we see an 8th grade class studying the business letter, learning its proper forms both in construction and preparation for mailing. Won't you stop for lunch? The school lunch program is carried on under the direction of a lunch supervisor who sees to it that each meal is a well-balanced, nutritious one. The meal is prepared by personnel who do a fine job in making the meal tasty and appetizing. Students too have their part in serving the meal, which makes it possible for them to have a part in their lunch program. The primary grades are accommodated in room 4, while the intermediate and upper grades share the use of the playroom. You can't start too early for the development of good posture. This 2nd grade class, led by their teacher, is doing some various exercises to strengthen muscles necessary for proper carriage. The session closes with a folk dance, which aids in the feeling for rhythm and balance. Here we see a part of the girls' phys ed program where at this time special emphasis is being given to skills necessary in the playing of softball. Balance, coordination, and so forth is the emphasis put on this phase of the boys' phys ed program. Here we see the following: forward roll, backward roll, forward roll over 3, next spring, stand on head, three-man roll, two-man forward roll, push-ups, and sit-ups. The art program of the school is carried on under the leadership of the art supervisor who meets with each class weekly. This group is watching a demonstration of painting on party favors, which is to be followed by their own participation in the painting project. Composition, balance, and color are all being considered as the bulletin board is arranged for the art room. Playing reindeer it has read about in The Night Before Christmas. They also enjoy playing that they are waking up on Christmas morning and finding packages. The story hour, when Santa's nocturnal visit takes on new and fascinating meaning, singing around the Christmas tree, an age-old tradition being carried on to another generation in this kindergarten group. When other things are long forgotten, this carol singing around the tree will live on. What's a party without refreshments? These youngsters are enjoying carefully planned refreshments and at the same time participating in party manners which will be of use to them in the future. Silent night, holy night, how much these words mean to us as we approach the 25th of December. This Christmas assembly presented by a first grade is enacting the story from scriptures while the choir sings appropriate carols in the background. Through participation in an assembly of this nature, Christmas takes on its true meaning, which is sometimes forgotten in the humdrum of Christmas activities. Miss Hallgren, our school nurse, is always on duty caring particularly for the health of your children. Periodic eye and ear examinations are conducted, as well as careful check being made on height and weight 3 times during the school year. This requires a great deal of record keeping. These records follow the student from kindergarten to high school and are valuable in tracing his health history while enrolled in the Montpelier Public Schools. Here are some students receiving their inoculations. If there ever was any question in your mind about reactions to this situation, you can see it is taken matter-of-factly and everyone is happy. As the nurse in the nurse's office cares for a student health, so the counselor in the guidance office helps in caring for the educational, social, and emotional needs of the student. The counselor in no way substitutes for the valuable guidance which takes place daily in the classroom, but merely supplements by helping the student help himself with educational, social, and emotional problems. This young man has come to the counselor to request information on an occupation he is interested in. Doubtless this will lead to further investigation of the occupation and may open new avenues of investigation to other occupations. With so many jobs in the world, one wants to shop early to see what it has to offer. The junior band, composed largely of upper grade pupils, meets once a week under the direction of Mr. Mix. Even though there is considerable change in personnel in the group, it develops well and gains a very worthwhile experience in band work. Another addition in the music field has been the development during the past 2 years of an orchestra under the direction of Mr. Fink. It has been several years since anything was done with stringed instruments in Montpelier, and yet, in a comparatively short time, a good orchestra This first grade group is learning early the importance of crossing a street correctly. Through development of individual responsibility, these youngsters are better prepared to make the needed crossings. Safety education continues as the primary grades are accompanied by the patrol at the busiest crossings on their homeward journey. Fire drills are carried out monthly, and it is with amazing rapidity that the students learn to leave the building in an orderly fashion. First, we see a fire drill at the temporary 4th grade headquarters at City Hall. Here we see the rest of the school population.